Why would you ever want to spend less on meta ads when you're launching your course, your program, or your offer? Well, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps that I've gone through with several clients to arrive at this decision this year. Because of the trend I'm seeing is that people are coming in cold to a launch and sitting through one or two launches before they purchase. And so if that's happening to your business, as it's happened to some of my clients' businesses, then you'll want to listen to this episode where you find out how exactly we figured that out with tracking, and then how we looked at reallocating launch budget to other things that happened before the launch, and then some recommendations to follow up with that. By the way, welcome back to another episode of The Art of Online Business, where you, an online course creator, can expect to get tips and tricks and strategies to grow your online business from low six figures to high six figures. I'm QUÄY.jo, a meta ads strategist. So the context here is that we noticed this for a couple of clients, that when we run meta ads, Facebook and Instagram ads to their launches, we target cold traffic, as in people who do not know their business, have never entered into their business ecosphere before. And we target warm traffic, people who are already on their email list, already follow them on Instagram or Facebook, or maybe have visited their website or been leads in the past, engaged with their video content in the past. And what we noticed was that the warm traffic, as always, was converting better, but the cold traffic wasn't converting nearly as well as it was before. And when I say convert, I mean cold traffic was signing up for the launches, but they weren't converting into sales. So the first point that I want to talk about here is how you can crunch the data to even understand during your launch, are your sales coming from warmer traffic or cold traffic? Because this is crucial and will help you during your launch debrief understand trends in your revenue and allow you to make some very strategic decisions, which I'll outline right after I tell you how to track. So you have to track. I think you're already tracking, but if you're not, I'm gonna hop on behind the pulpit and say track your leads. You want to at least be tracking your organic leads for your launch and your Facebook and Instagram ad leads for your launch. And you may be like, well, QUÄY.jo, if I have Facebook and Instagram ads running to get people to register for my launch, what if they were already on my email list to begin with? And wouldn't things get confusing? Yes and no. Yes, some people might see your ads who were already on your email list for the purpose of your launch. They were a registrant that came from ads. Now, here's the thing though. Lots of people are like, I have an email list that I possibly already grew with ads. Why would I run ads for the launch to my email list again? Isn't that like spending more money? Yes, it is for the same lead. However, you got to understand that between 3 and 5% if you're lucky, of your email list will ever sign up for a specific launch anyway. So think about that. You've busted your butt to build your email list. You've built credibility. You've been showing up on social media. You've been working mini chat like a fiend. You're on YouTube. You're running Facebook ads, and only 5% tops. Maybe you're fortunate, super lucky, and you get more than that, but usually it's right around 3% of your email list is going to sign up for a launch. So absolutely you should be running ads to your email list. Now, as far as crunching the data, if you're tracking organic registrants, and all that means is let's say you have your launch registration page, right? You have one link for the registration page that's only visible to organic folks, as in people who are on your email list get that link in the sign up registration email sequence. And maybe that link sits in your Instagram bio or all the other social medias that you're on. Or maybe that link goes out to affiliates if you have affiliates for the launch. Okay. Then you take that landing page, that registration page, and you duplicate it, and then you have this new link that's only for paid traffic, right? So only the people coming in on meta ads will see this paid traffic link. Now, it's the same exact page. The difference is people are tagged differently because it's linked up to your email CRM in a different way, so that people who come in through the Facebook and Instagram ad page get that Facebook ad or meta ad tag. And the ones who come in organically, they don't necessarily have to have any tags. If you have affiliates, then you could give affiliates all the same link so they get an affiliate tag. Follow me? That way, what happens is when you're doing your launch debrief, looking at your revenue and digging into the numbers to see who bought, you can essentially create a pie chart and be like, of this total revenue, a certain percentage came from paid ads traffic, a certain percentage came from organic only traffic, right? And that will help you break it down. So the result is you can see which sales came from where. Now, what's going on if you also discover that, oh shoot, it's basically all the warm folks who are deciding to do business with you coming out of a launch, and none of the cold audience is really converting? Well, what happened with my clients was we looked at the numbers and decided it made a lot more sense after analyzing, the return on investment for the launch. It made a lot more sense, instead of just using Facebook and Instagram ad budget to target a cold audience during the launch, we took that budget and we reallocated it to the lead magnet that was running in between launches. So I'm going to hop back in the pulpit and say, if you're not running a lead magnet, because I've coached some people who still aren't, between your launches, you should be, because that's getting cold leads, new people who are interested in the value that you offer, onto your email list, and then you can nurture them, and then they'll be much more prepared to come into your launch and hopefully buy what it is you have to sell and serve them with. So we took that budget and then put it into lead magnets in between launches, and it was a test, right? Would more leads mean higher launch revenue? And what we saw was that in the subsequent launch, I'm speaking for a couple clients specifically, that we didn't run Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram ads to the cold audiences anymore during a launch, only to the warm audiences. And that worked really well for these clients. And so that's the kind of step-by-step that you would want to make before you make that decision. I want to revisit how you rethink your launch budget, okay? And I'm going to throw out some numbers as you're analyzing like the return on investment from your launch. You want to know how much you spend on ads. You want to know the number of leads that you've brought in and your total revenue, which of course you're already tracking, right? And then two other numbers, earnings per lead and cost per lead. Earnings per lead being the total revenue that you generated divided by the total number of leads gets you an earnings per lead. And if you did run Facebook ads, then how much was it costing you to get those leads? Yes, warm traffic will usually become a lead at a lower cost per lead than cold traffic, but how much was it costing you, right? And you can track warm and cold traffic separately, okay? So you have the earnings per lead and cost per lead, and you want to know, like, what is that profit per lead? The difference between how much you earn per lead and how much it costs to bring in that lead. Because it's all about profit, right? And so when I said earlier in this episode that we noticed cold traffic wasn't converting as well, that's numbers, as in there weren't as many cold traffic people buying an offer during a launch as there were warm traffic folks, but it's also profit per lead. Like, is the profit per lead for your cold Facebook ad leads much lower than your warm Facebook ad leads? And so this is how you begin to look at these numbers. And once you get these numbers and look at them, it should be pretty clear if your meta ad spend is better invested for your lead magnet. Now, how would you target? Because I also said, like, for a couple of clients, we did end up still using meta ads for their launch registration to target their warm audiences, right? So how would you do that? What I mean is you could target, for example, just the email list, just the Instagram and Facebook followers. Maybe you target people who have visited your website, especially if you have a strong blog presence or just a lot of website traffic in general. Maybe you could target your website visitors. You could even, here's a warm-ish audience, people that have engaged with your videos in the past, you could target them. You have to decide, and it does take some testing, which one of those audiences works better for you, okay? For example, I have one client who just wanted me to target their email list during the launch, and that was it. They had a really big email list, but they decided, because of various factors with their Instagram and how active they were there, that they didn't even want me to target that for them. You'll know what makes sense for you, and if you're not sure, you can break out those audiences and target them and see how they're converting, and then you'll know for the next launch. So if you have like a super large email list, for example, or a really high ticket offer, it might make sense for you just to target your email list, because those are the warmest people who have been nurtured by you, who trust you the most because you've been cranking out value in your weekly newsletter. By the way, I'm probably preaching to the choir, but if you have an email list, when's the last time they heard from you? Please be showing up, as in sending out at least weekly emails, even twice a week. I look at my inbox, and some of these other marketers, I'm getting emails from them like 3 or 4 times a week. So maybe you needed to hear this, but if you feel like you're being too salesy or emailing too much, you're not. If you're sending out 2 or 3 emails a week. If you feel like because you made the mistake, it is a mistake, don't look at people who unsubscribe. If like 1% of people on your huge email list are unsubscribing, when you send an email, please don't look at the names. Please don't let that affect you. People unsubscribe when you send emails. And in fact, it's probably better that they unsubscribe because that means that they're not interested in the emails you're sending. So why pay to have them on your email list, right? If you're sending out valuable emails, if you're not like selling every email, like hardcore selling, right? But if you're adding value, then the people who need and want that value will stay on your email list. Unsubscribers is normal. Now, if you have like 10% of people unsubscribing on an email, do audit your automated email sequences and see if there's any emails that have an abnormally large amount of unsubscribers, but you might have a problem. But if you're just seeing like point something percent or 1% unsubscribe now and then, that's okay. Save your brain. Don't look and see who they are for unsubscribing, okay? I'll take a moment to say, if you want me to look at your Facebook ads for you and make them run better, because I look at clients' ads all day long, then you can do one-on-one coaching with me. The URL for that is theartofonlinebusiness.com/call, CALL, and that link is also in the descriptions below. But what that means is you'll get unlimited access to me for a month. And all of your ads questions and all of the scenarios that you might not understand that you could be taking advantage of to scale your ads right and make more money, or to correct mistakes and save more money. You'll be able to run those by me and I'll be able to coach you step by step on what to do in those situations. That link is in the description below. So as you look to increase your lead magnet investment, because maybe you've decided that running meta ads to cold audiences for your launch is not the best return on investment because your warm audiences are converting a lot better, then just take the amount of money that you were spending on cold audiences and put that towards lead magnets. Maybe you launch less frequently, twice a year, or even once a year. Then you're thinking, if you're gonna spend more money on generating leads, it's too long of a period, 6 months, 8 months, however long it is between your launches, to know like, are those leads going to convert in a launch? And I agree with you. One thing you could do is make sure that you have a welcome offer, aka tripwire offer, set up on the thank you page of your lead magnet so that you can start testing messaging there and recouping more and more of your ad spend. You know, if you were to get to a point where you could recoup even 30-40% of your ad spend because you had a low ticket welcome offer on your thank you page, you can start using a low ticket welcome offer. Make sure that offer is highly aligned with the core offer that you sell during your launch to see how the messaging works and start to recoup some ad spend, get some money back, and even begin to hone your messaging before your upcoming launch, okay? And another thing you can do, and this is a lot harder, but if you don't have a direct to sale kind of offer where you're running ads directly to a low ticket offer, you should start testing that. See if you can do that profitably. Now, this is super hard to do. Some folks get lucky right away, but you can set up a self-liquidating offer that you're running paid traffic to that has an order bump and an upsell, and with enough testing, provided that offer is a really good offer. First of all, the offer matters most, okay? And then the messaging matters almost as much, right? Because people have to understand why your offer can specifically help them and how it's going to make their lives easier, so to speak. But if you test that, you can arrive, because I have clients that are there, at a funnel where you're sending paid traffic to it and you're getting paid for leads that are going onto your email list. In fact, I have an episode coming up, and the guest is Abigail Pumphrey, and she is the owner of the Boss Project. And she specifically talks about how to leverage a digital product to get paid to add people to your list. Now, that is the ultimate. And of course, the things that are the most lucrative, the most worthwhile, take the most time and usually are the most difficult to figure out. Now, I'm not saying that there's some easy, like there's not easy, lower hanging fruit somewhere in your business that will generate more profit. But I am saying what Thomas Edison says. People miss out on opportunity because it's dressed in overalls and it looks like work.